the overwhelming view is that it appears that bail is now more or less being weaponized, being used as a weapon to oppress, suspects or persons of interest with some very onerous bail terms and conditions. And I think that there has to be some kind of, realignment and regulated environment as far as bail is concerned. It has never been like this before until just recently. And if you have observed, there are different agencies handling this kind of cases. You have the OSP, you have the EOCO, you have the NIB, and I think the CID as well. Most of the furore and indignation is directed at mostly EOCO. OSP, you will hardly find any instance where OSP will insist that somebody must be held in custody. And not many people have gone to OSP, except maybe one or two that you hear about them in the public, especially with the exception of maybe Poladumochi because of who he is. And even that one, the bail conditions were not such onerous bail conditions. Now, what happened to self-recognizance bail? We're in this country for the 8 years that MPP was in power. Can you mention one person who was held in custody because he couldn't meet any bail conditions? Can you mention one?
You may not know.
You see, we have had Stephen Opuni, Seydou Agongo, Dr. Kobnat Dufour Jr., they have various chief directors, they have business persons. They were all released on bail right from the beginning. Second, you have another group, Dr. Tufosin, Dr. Kobnat Dufour Sr. himself, Alhaji Collins Dauda, Kweku Ajima Mensah, and all of that. They were granted self-recognizance bail. Then you have another category.
By police or by court?
By the court.
So we're talking about the police bail first.
Even at that level.
We're not talking about court bail.
Even at that level, you will never hear it. Richard Jakpa, for instance, was he ever detained? He never slept in custody for one day.
Do you know that for sure?
I am telling you for a fact. So all these things about, we need to tie bail to the sums that, apparently had been lost and so on and so forth. But there are people who have been held in custody unrelated to any loss of money. So why are you still holding them in custody? What are you trying to recover from them? In the particular case of EOCO, if you go to their functions, Section 3, it provides that the EOCO would recover proceeds of crime, for instance. So in the mind of the executive director, if from their investigation, you are deemed to have caused or misappropriated 60 million cedis, then he has to give you bail conditions amounting to about 60 or so million cedis. That is wrong. And I think that the application of bail should be regulated under Article 296 of the Constitution because it's an exercise of discretion.
What Raymond said? He said
his philosophy.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, he said his philosophy. Now, there are people who have occupied that office before him.
Is that philosophy compliant with the law?
It is not.
Why?
It is not. Look, we should be guided by the provisions of Section 96, for instance.
Yes, what does Section 96 say?
It provides...
What does Section 96 say should be how to deal with bail?
I mean, it talks about bail not being excessive. That one is very clear. And if you have it, we can read Section 96 copiously for the benefit of the listeners. You see, bail is being used as a weapon to oppress even accused persons. Look, if you have a very solid case,
the law says you grant the bail depending on the circumstances
of the case.
You shouldn't use the bail as punishment. It shouldn't be excessive.
That is what we are seeing.
Who determines that it is excessive or it is being...
At the point of inquiry, it is the agency that is doing the investigation that must exercise that discretion.
Right.
And it's a discretion that must be exercised, that they must exercise with, a lot of, empathy. But it appears that the whole idea is to convict you even before. We want to hold you in custody even before the trial starts. That is the whole intention. And I think that it is very wrong. Look, it has to be regulated by Article 296. But when you are exercising discretion, it must not be capricious It must not be whimsical, and so on and so forth. But that is what we are seeing. Because the ED, for instance, when you heard, he said that his philosophy, so that makes it, capricious. And because people have occupied that office before, and we haven't seen some of these things before. It's the same law that we are applying, it's just different individuals. So he brings different philosophy to the office, and I think that it has to be regulated. It is, look, BNI, for instance, has investigated a whole lot of people. You hardly hear anybody, maybe because he's a media person, coming from the media stock, because almost every case of EOCO is in the media space, especially if it has to do with any politically exposed person. So we have to be, as a country, watch it the way that we do. Otherwise, one day somebody will need Kotoka International Airport as surety. You need a property, maybe Tema Harbour. Because the rate at which we are going, 800 million, 150 million, 100 million. I mean, how many people have that kind of properties? You say for to be justified. So that means that one person amongst them should be able to bring not less than 25 million. I mean, why are they going to get these kind of properties? They are not realistic. So we must be measured, in the kind of bill conditions that, look, for instance, if you look at Bost, Edwin Provençal, he was given a bill terms of 60 million Ghana cedis. The court reduces to 30 million. EOCO is appealing. What are you appealing for? What is it? What is it you're appealing for? And then, to make the matters worse, when the court varied the bill conditions, EOCO continued to hold him in custody pending appeal. That is wrong. That is completely wrong. You release the person.
That met the bail conditions.
They gave it 30 million cedis, and they satisfied the bill conditions.
And they were still holding him.
And they held him because they are appealing.
Are you sure about that?
The individual's rights.
Are you sure about what you just said?
Of course, that is what I have been told.
Okay, so
that's what I've been told.
So
and his lawyer is one, Charles
those who are involved
also.
in this case, and
so
maybe
please.
EOCO officials, if you are listening, we want to know. We want to check this.
Yes, I stand corrected.
We cannot immediately, independently verify what he's saying. That even after the court granted, varied the bail terms from 60 to 30 million.
That is what I read.
He fulfilled the conditions. He was still kept in custody because EOCO was appealing the decision. We would like to know about that.
Yes,
he's not in custody. He's not in custody now.
Now, I don't know.
So, but EOCO is still appealing.
Yes, I don't know whether he's still in custody as
no,
of
he's
today.
not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not aware. But I read, that he has met the bail conditions.
My question is that if he was being held because they were going to appeal,
yes,
then because there is an appeal, the appeal has not been determined, so he should still be in custody.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know whether he's still in custody or not. But the point I'm making is that, and I've been involved in arranging bail for some.
How much is involved in his case?
In his case, I think it's about $5 million.
So how do you describe 60 million Ghana cedis as excessive or punishment for a case of about $5 million?
You see, you are presuming that the person is already guilty. That is the wrong thing I'm saying. You are based on Article 19, 3C or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. A person is presumed innocent until he is proven guilty or he himself admits to his guilt. But you are assuming that once you have been accused of embezzling $5 million, then you have stolen that money. And the only reason why
Theophilus is holding Act 30.
The only reason why we will grant you bail.
We had invited you earlier to read.
The only reason
96.
why.
Hold on.
Yes.
Section 96.
I have Section 96.
Please read to our hearing.
A court shall not, and it's
which part of
mutatis mutandis applicable
96?
To Section 96. 5.
4.
4 rather. Yes. A court shall not withhold or withdraw bail merely as a punishment. And 5. A court shall refuse to grant bail if it is satisfied that the defendant may not appear to stand trial. That is 1. Or 2. May interfere with a witness or the evidence or in any way hamper police investigations. C. may commit a further offense when on bail. D, is charged with an offense punishable by imprisonment exceeding 6 months, which is alleged to have been committed while the defendant was on bail. None of these conditions.
But why did you? This is not conditions. This is the refusal part.
This is the refusal, and I'm saying that
you jumped how to measure the bail.
Oh, but I think I've read it.
You jumped. You stopped. You started from shall not. How is bail determined?
Oh, the amount and this is C. This is 96.3. The amount and conditions of bail shall be fixed with due regard to the circumstances of the case and shall not be excessive or harsh.
So that's the question.
With due regard to the circumstances of the case.
Thank you.
What does that mean? Does it mean that the
gravity of the case?
Exactly.
So if you are facing a charge of 5 million US dollars, translates into how much in Ghana cedis?
That's almost about 60 million cedis.
And you are asked to post a bail of 60 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
How do you say that's excessive?
I'm saying that if you use the amount to determine the bail, then you are more or less convicting the person.
But that's what the courts do.
No, the courts don't normally do. Why do they?
They do.
Okay, so why do they give self-representation?
Ask any judge. They will tell you that they use.
So what is the criteria for
the gravity of the offense?
This same law.
The bail.
This same law provides for self-recognizance in spite of this.
It's discretionary.
So it's discretionary. That's what I'm saying. So you can't say that because the amount is this, the bill should be necessarily tied to the amount. Then why do we give this in the self-recognizance bill?
In the NSS case.
What is the intention?
In the NSS case, we are talking about 2.2 billion, right?
Correct.
And they are granting bail to the tune of how much?
800 million and even 10 million.
Yes, 10 million.
For Gift Oware is 10 million.
Yeah.
And for the OCICB,
for a case
800 million.
2.2 billion.
You understand? No, but they are charged for different,
I get that. I get that.
Amounts.
How do you determine excessiveness?
Precisely.
When you use the amount. That's what Raymond is asking.
No, I'm saying, for instance, let's use Gift Oware's case, for instance. How much is he to have embezzled? 30 million or is it 40 million? But the bail condition is 10 million. Now, OCICB is said to have embezzled about 1.2 billion Ghana cedis, but the bail condition is 800 million. So why would the court, for instance, reduce the bail terms from 60 million to 30 million for Edwin Provincial? Because it is not necessarily tied. It is about whether the person would appear.
Do you agree?
To stand trial.
Theophilus, do you agree?
No,
importantly.
I don't agree. There is one part of in fact, he jumped nicely in the 96.2, which says that where a police officer